All right, so I want you to stop wasting money buying rigs that don't work. We all go to the store, we see those rigs, and we know the saying that fishing rigs, fishing lures, they catch more fishermen than they catch fish. So I want you to stop doing that because let's just face it, those fishing rigs don't even work all that well. They aren't custom to the way that you're fishing. And so I want to give you 5 essential inshore fishing rigs that I take out there every time we've got there fishing. You see us catch all those fish. These are the 5 rigs that we use all the time we've got there, whether it's from boat or shore, different applications. These are very versatile rigs. I'm going to show you exactly how to rig them up. All right, so let me go ahead and show you what you're going to need to make up these rigs, these 5 essential rigs. The first thing you're going to need is some leader material. This is just this Cast Kings material. There's lots of different brands out there that you can use for this. Andy makes some pretty inexpensive as well. So get yourself some good monofilament leader. This is 20-pound test. That's what I use. Some people go a little bit heavier, 30-pound, but 20 pounds seems to be the sweet spot for me. You're also going to need hooks. This is a Kail hook. And Kail hook works well for me. This is a 3/0 Kail hook. 1/0 and 5/0 are also sizes that I use. But the 3/0 Kail hook. Some people like to use circle hooks. Other people use J hooks as well. But get yourself some good hooks depending on your application. You're going to need also egg sinkers. This is a 1 ounce egg sinker. And you can get them 2 ounces down to 1/4 of an ounce. Even smaller than that. But you're going to need egg sinkers as well. Also jig heads. This is a Z-Man Trout Eyes. This is my favorite one to use. This is a 3/16. I love this one. I use it all the time. Highly recommend this one. But you get yourself some good jig heads. You're going to need beads and swivels. And then also you need a good popping cork. Now, of course, you know we make these popping corks right here in the great state of Texas. You can pick them up in the description below. This is the Lime edition. We also make the Rattler edition in this color. Also, we have now going to be releasing the BC popping cork, which is a yellow one. So that's coming out as well. So keep an eye out for that. But all that's in the description below. Pick yourself up those today. Let me show you how to make up these rigs. All right, so the first rig that I'm going to show you how to work up is probably one of the most popular rigs out there. It's the one we use all the time, and it is the Carolina rig or the bottom rig. Some call it a fish finder rig. There's different names, but I like to call it the Carolina rig. That's the name that I grew up knowing it as. What you're going to do is you're going to feed your egg sinker onto your line, and then you're going to put your bead. The purpose of the bead is to protect against the knot against the swivel. Because when you throw this out or when it's hitting the bottom, that weight is going to be going up and down. It's going to be slamming against your knot, and you don't want that knot to come undone. You can tie a fisherman's knot here or an improved cinch knot. Either of those work fine to make up this Carolina rig. You can wet it here as well, but for the sake of the tutorial, I'm not going to do all that. Okay. Cut off your tag. Just like that. And you get yourself some leader material, maybe about 12 to 14 inches, something along those lines. Works pretty well. And then you're going to tie onto the other side of your swivel. Same type of thing. Do improved cinch knot. You can do fisherman's knot. Whatever you like that works well for you. Many different ways to tie these knots. Get good at tying knots, because if you're a fisherman, you got to make sure your knots are good. That's very important. And same thing here, cut off your tag. And then you're going to tie on your actual hook. Again, this is a 3/0 Kail. Now what I do when I tie on my hooks, I use a loop knot. People use different types of knots. They use snell knots. They use all kinds of different ones. But I like to use the loop knot because I do think it gives your bait or your lure or whatever you're doing a little bit more play and a little bit more action. And I find the loop knot's easy to tie. Ties up very quickly and easily. Got the loop knot on there. Just like that. Cinch that down. Cut that off. And there you go. This is your Carolina rig, or your fish finder rig, or your bottom rig. You got your egg weight to your bead tied on to the swivel from your main line. Then you tie on your leader material and then onto your hook. And that is the first essential rig that you're going to want to take anytime you go out there inshore fishing. The next essential rig you're going to go out there is the popping cork rig. This is one, again, that we use all the time. Every time I go out there, I'm taking popping corks with me because I can use them in so many different applications. I can use them with live bait. I can use them with artificial bait. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to tie on my popping cork using the either approved cinch or fisherman's knot, whatever works for you to make that good solid connection. And normally I wet it there, but for the sake of the tutorial, I'm not going to. Cut off my tag. Okay, so you got that tied on, you got the tag cut off. Then you're going to come over here and you're going to tie your leader line to the bottom of the popping cork. Again, depending on the depth of water you're fishing, but no more than 18 inches. Normally is really what you're going to go for. You don't want to maybe be that long. Because the longer it is, the more chance you get of wrap and different things going on. The water we're fishing with popping corks generally isn't all that deep anyway. We're going to do the same thing here. Going to tie on using the either improved cinch or the fisherman's knot, whatever works best for you. Okay. And then cut off your tag again. And you're going to come to the bottom, and this is where you're going to tie again on your Kahle hook. I do use Kahle hooks again with the popping cork. Some people use J hooks, some people use circle hooks, but I think the Kahle hooks work the best for us. And in Texas, we're allowed to use them. Not every state you're allowed to use them. So do make sure that you pay attention to your local regulations on that. We're going to tie that on using that same loop knot that we did before. Okay. Cut off my tag. And that is my popping cork rig. So we go from the main line tied to the top of the popping cork from the popping cork to our hook. And then with that leader line. Very simple rig again. You can fish this with live bait. You can fish this with dead bait. Live bait is probably most effective. Live shrimp is the most common to use with this, but you can use other things. You can also attach artificial baits to this. Gulps and paddle tails, things like that work well with that as well.
Are you looking for shirts that look as good as the rigs that you're making? Welcome to Red Tuna Shirt Club, your monthly connection to the world's best fishing destinations. Red Tuna is not just another shirt club. Each month they deliver a unique new fishing shirt straight to your door, featuring authentic designs from real charter companies and legendary fishing lodges in the most sought-after locations around the globe. And you can feel good knowing you're supporting an American-made quality. Red Tuna Shirt Club is a veteran-owned family business right here in Houston, Texas. Founded in 2011, they have built a reputation on experience and trust. With thousands of 5-star reviews, Red Tuna customers know their quality. Have a question? When you contact Red Tuna, you'll speak directly with our Texas-based team and maybe even the owner himself. Of course, every angler has their preference, and that's why Red Tuna Shirt Club offers diverse shirt styles, from comfortable 100% cotton to high-performance premium microfiber with vibrant printing and super soft, lightweight tri-blend tees. The best part, you have the flexibility to switch styles anytime to match your needs. Ready to experience a new authentic shirt every month? Join Red Tuna Shirt Club today at redtunashirt.com and use code WEGO$10 to get $10 off your membership. If you're not ready for a membership, no problem. Use code WEGO$10 for 10% off your order at redtunashirts.com and grab some gear today.
Okay, the third essential inshore fishing rig is going to be your jig head. And this is the way I do it. Some people attach a swivel in between their main line, their main braid, and their leader material, but I don't do that. I like to attach my braid directly to my leader line. Okay, you're going to cinch that down. And wetting it does tend to help. Cut off both sides of your tags. And then the only other thing you got to do for the jig head rig is simply tie on your jig head. So you're going to come down to the end of your leader line. You're going to tie that same loop knot. Get your jig head. Tie that on just like that. Quick and easy rig to make. Very easy for artificials, paddle tails, gulps, different inshore plastics, soft plastics are great for this. And that is simply how I make it. So directly from my braid to my leader, and then onto the jig head. And you can fish this. You can make all kinds of, like I said, you can put paddle tails on this, gulps, whatever it might be. You can even fish shrimp on this. My wife does it all the time. She'll just put a live shrimp on the jig head and throw it out there and catch all kinds of things with that as well. She does it all the time. Very effective as well. On to the fourth most effective and most important rig to have when you are out there on the water inshore fishing, and that is going to be free lining. Free lining again starts with that same thing, braid to your leader material, and then you're going to tie on your hook. And again, I use the Kale hooks for this as well. Some people like to put chatter weights on them when they're using this, whether it be for croaker, using croaker or mullet, or even shrimp. You can put a chatter weight in between the main braid and your leader material. Some people like to do that, depending, and that's most effective for live bait. But you can fish this also with artificials as well, but most people use jig heads or fish in this way. This is mostly for live bait, mullet, croaker, pinfish, shrimp, things like that. A very simple rig. And if you want to give it a little bit more weight, a little bit more action, you can put a split shot here as well to help give you some more weight when you're actually throwing it. You can also use cut bait with this as well. I've used this with cut bait quite a bit to catch inshore species as well. But this is your fourth one, and this is the free line. All right, here's the fifth essential rig that you should have when you are out there inshore fishing. This one is maybe not as popular as some of the other ones, but we do use it sheephead fishing, fishing around structure and things like that. The first thing you're going to do for this one is you're going to tie on your swivel. And after this is going to be a little bit different than the Carolina rig. It has some similarities, but it also does have some differences as well that you'll see here as I'm tying this up. And you're going to use that same type of knot, the improved cinch knot or the fisherman's knot or whatever knot that you find to be the one that is your go-to for tying on terminal equipment. Get that tied on, cut off your tag as we always do. Then what you're going to do is you're going to tie on your leader material to, if I can pick it up, you're going to tie on your leader material to your swivel. Again, you're going to use that same type of knot, fisherman's knot or improved cinch knot. Any of those work out just fine. Nice and secure. You can find all kinds of tutorials talking about which knot strengths are the best and all that, but really the best knot is the one that you can tie most effectively. I think that's the most important thing, is being able to be confident in your tying ability. Okay, let's get that tied down, cinched down. Cut off my tag there. All right, and from this point, this is where it's the difference from the Carolina rig or the fish finder rig, that bottom rig that we did previously. What you're going to do is you're going to put on your bead. And again, the bead is to help protect against that knot, sliming against that weight. Some people do not put the bead there. I like to put the bead there. I think it gives it a little bit of extra knock. But again, some people that's not their thing. It just really depends on what you want to do, whether you want to use that bead or not. Then you put your weight on, your egg weight. Now some people put the bead on this side too. I've seen beads on both sides of this, so it really does depend on you on how you want to do that. And then you're going to tie on your hook. And again, I still use the loop knot for this as well. Some people use a snell knot because I think for this rig that snell knot works better, but I use the loop knot still on this. I haven't had any trouble with it, so that's what I do. Tie that down, cinch that down. And this is your knocker rig, and you can see the difference. The difference is where that weight falls. That weight is going to fall right up against that hook when it goes down there, but then it's going to release to come back up. And so this knocker rig also is an effective rig for inshore fishing. So those are the 5 inshore rigs that I take with me every single time that I go out there fishing. I have those rigs, they're ready to go, they're ready, they're made up. I mean, I find them to be most effective. But what do you think? Let me know in the description below what rigs you use when you go out there, or maybe I missed something and you say, hey, you missed this. Make sure you tell them this. Let me know that in the comments below. Check out our popping corks, 3 for $14.95. We've got them in 3 different colors now, BC, OC, and LC. So you can check those out. Also in both the stainless steel post and the Rattler editions for each one of those. So you can check those out in the description below. That helps us out in helping out the channel grow and continue to grow. And check out the Red Tuna Shirt Club as well. Check out the discounts if you want to join and be a part of that club. Until next time, May the fish be with you.